Alrighty folks, today we are continuing on our Fender adventure here. Fender running board. The plan, we're gonna make this thing really quick. I think this will be fairly quick to make. And then I think we're about ready to rip the body off. There's a few small things still left to do, like around here we have a little bit of rod, so I gotta make a patch for this, but that's not too bad. Fenders, I'm pretty happy where they're sitting. So, fenders are good, that's good. I won't really worry about the rad thing or the grill till I get a little closer to like the chassis being all finished. But yeah, I think the next step is gonna be blowing it apart once we get that thing done. I really think so. I know everybody's very anxious to see what we do for a chop and whatnot, but I gotta wait till the body's actually bolted on, and that way I can get my doors adjusted and that stuff will work. So everybody doesn't think it needs a chop. It needs the smallest of chop. A 2-inch would be perfect, because you have to imagine my little Model A pickup out there. It looks stock, but it's actually got a 2-inch chop on it, so just looks perfect in my eyes. This one would look perfect with the 2-inch chop, but I do want it to look chopped, so it might go 3. We're gonna see. I don't know. We'll see, because it's just got a good look to it. I like it. Anyways, first things first. I'm gonna start figuring out how we're gonna do this front part here. The way I see it is I'm gonna make this bend. We're gonna continue this bend out into this vicinity. And then from there, we're just gonna sheet over and wrap around it until we can kind of flow up to this fender top. It doesn't have to be perfect in my eyes, because this hood, when we eventually get to the hood side is gonna come down, and it's gotta make up the difference of everything that's not here anymore, kind of thing. So that seems pretty straightforward. I think Ryder's coming by later. He's actually gonna give you a hand with my truck. I gotta do injectors. Not very hard to do, but whatever. I'll show him how to do it and let him tackle it. Picked up a bunch of injectors. Not too bad. I think I just have one bad one, but I feel like I'll replace them all and use these as spares, try to clean them and do some stuff. It just seems like the one side's just... I must have one that kind of sticks or doesn't work so well. I don't know, but anyways. This truck's got a lot of miles on it so far. It's been pretty good. Maybe I should put it in Canada and put some electric AC in this thing. Works so good in Esther's truck. Anywho, yeah, I'm gonna walk them through what to do here. It's not too bad. I think this is a single rail? Looks like it is. Anyhow, I'm gonna continue doing my own thing till he comes here, and then I'll give him a hand with that. bunch has happened. Not a whole lot. Mostly that thing. Alright, so last night I messed with this. We got this. I'm pretty happy with the shape. Everything's there. The plan is this will probably overlap. I mean, I could butt weld everything, but I'm not concerned. Like, this thing can kind of shimmy and shake on there. I'm very cool with that. So anyways, this will bolt on. This is just gonna lay over top of it, which is fine. We're gonna buzz this full. Overall, everything worked the way I thought. I'm pretty happy, really happy with the look there. So underneath you can see I got way too much material. We're gonna probably just pull the fender off. I'll cut this all out. I really didn't know how far or what I was gonna do there, so I kinda just went with whatever. So the next stage is gonna be playing around with this side. So I got distracted, so new day. I've already made this piece, so all it was is I just bent an edge and we just, you know, like it's stooked in there way too far, but that's okay. I've trimmed this, there's too much off the bottom, that's okay. So we just gotta make this piece now, which will fit similar to the other side. It's similar, but it's not, so I don't know. With the trend I got going, they're probably different fenders and things are just different and don't fit quite the same, and it is what it is. So we made a little bit of difference on this panel. We're gonna make that one out. I'm gonna go take Carl's car for a ride here because I think I got everything fixed on it finally. He was having some problems. We still gotta check the brakes, but basically he came in, he had a brake lock, wheel locking up, and it was always killing the battery. And basically I've been teaching myself a whole lot of stuff. The brake thing was easy. It was just he had brand new brakes and stuff put onto there, like new hoses and stuff. Like a dual master, things like that done to the car. And turns out one of the new brake lines was junk. Like it was holding pressure, wasn't letting it back. So you get a wheel in the front sticking and it was kind of locking up on them. So we replaced that line, did the line. I didn't have the right fitting, so we ended up just redoing all the lines in the front. Not a big deal. But then it was onto the charging system. Couldn't figure it out. I basically learned lots about 6-volt and generators and yada, yada, yada. So I had a bunch of generators. I wasn't sure if the generator was bad. Then I learned how you test them, because essentially generator's a motor. So you basically hook your power up, you ground this sucker, you ground these 2 loops, and then you feed some power and the motor would spin. So that's how you kind of know it just works. I think that's right. I might have that wrong, but this should be power. Ground the 2 fields. Yeah, and then you put power to one of them, and then the motor will free spin. So we knew that was good. We tried some voltage regulators. Turned out they were just, I guess they're all bad. That's what I'm kind of finding out. Or they need to be tweaked. I learned how to tweak them, because it would go on and it would hold like not even 6 volts. I think it was holding 5.9, 5.8, just enough that it would just die. Like it was just wouldn't actually charge the battery on them. So by the time you'd get home, or maybe it wasn't even working, I don't know. But anyways, we ended up using his old voltage regulator, but you know, I was testing it with a power, like I have a test light that shows me my voltage, and then I just figured that you basically adjust this thing, because we're trying to get around 7 volts. That's what, because this car is still 6 volt. I was trying to get around 7 volts, so you kind of just stretch this thing a little bit till, and I was doing it with full load with all the lights on and all that stuff, trying to get it at 7.1, somewhere there, which I like to say successfully it works. So as far as I know, he's always had it. The amp meter would discharge, but it's never actually gone to on the charge side. So that's working. So I want to take it for a little burn. We're going to drive around, see if I can get the brakes to mess up. And then when I come back, I'm going to go through making that patch panel and tack that thing in. And then I guess we're about close to just blowing this thing apart. I don't know what else I'd really want to do. I don't need it on the car for anything else. So I could fit the grill and things, but I think we can do all of that after, once the body's back on. So that's kind of my thought. Anyways, I'm gonna go take Carl's car for a burn, and then I'll see you guys back here. This car is just a champ. Oh, it needs nothing. Oh, I don't need that on. All right. He's got a main kill switch, which is probably not good for the charging, but Well, now I laughed. Now the gauge isn't working. Oh, there we go. That it would never do. It would never go to the charge side. Quite the trooper. Quite the trooper. All right. All right. Well, didn't actually take you for the drive. It didn't go very well. I only got a little ways down the road, and I could feel that the pedal was tight. There wasn't much give into it. So I kind of feel I know what it is. I feel like there was no, what do you call those? Like those residual, like, it doesn't take prop valves, but a residual valve, the little red cylinders. Well, this thing doesn't have it. It's just got a dual, like a Corvette style master cylinder in here. And my fear was, basically, I think nobody put those little valves in, so they just overcompensated by making the pedal tighter and tighter, but there was like no give in the pedal. There was actually pressure almost on the master cylinder while it was just sitting there. So that doesn't do it any good. So what's happening is just, I don't know what's happened, just the fact is just something's expanding. Like I know that shouldn't be a thing, but it happens, and it slowly applies the brakes a bit. And what we need is these. Problem is I only have the disc brake one. So the red ones are for disc drum brake. And what's happening right now is the master cylinder is actually probably lower than the wheel cylinders. So when I'm applying the brakes, it's got to push all the fluid to the master, like to the wheel cylinders, and because the wheel cylinder has springs and everything in it, and they kind of close. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but essentially what happens is you get the proper prop valve, I think it's right, that goes in the line, and it holds 10 pounds of pressure to the wheel cylinders. That way when you push your brake, you don't have to like fill everything up with fluid. And then the second pump, so it's about right now it's about a 3 pumper to what it should be perfect. So when you put that valve in, front and rear, you should have perfect brakes. I guess a buddy was asking me that, and I guess the original master cylinder probably, he says like they don't have those, and this is they don't, but I think it's built into those master cylinders. That's why when you put one that normally sits on a firewall and you mount it low, it doesn't have any way of doing that. You can sometimes get away with it if you mount it up on the firewall, because then it's higher, so it's just got gravity kind of holding everything down a little bit. But anyways, I've been babbling along too much about this. I'm waiting for parts to come in, so it'll just look pretty in the background for now. Let's get going on this other side. There's really not much to talk about other than I got to basically cut that piece out and do the exact same thing. We're going to tack it in. Then we can kind of blow it apart. But I'm feeling, before we do that completely, I should just try to get the rad fitting in there and get the grill shell mounted, get the hood on it. The hood does work on it. That part's good. And the grill's okay, but I don't have any mounting system for it. So I got to figure that out. I've done these before, but if I have to pull motors out, some of my hot rods, I build like rad grill supports that are kind of a solid thing that hangs into the front. And that never works well for me, because if I have to pull a motor, then these things are in the way. Even though I can take the grill off, I can take the rad out. I might have 2 big rods that come up that I can like screw my rad to and stuff. That never works out for me. So I'm going to do something a little different on this one. I'll probably do the same idea, but I'll make them removable from low down so I can actually lift the motor and pop it out if need be. I hope that's something I don't have to do, but given my experience with boosted motors, I don't do very well with them. All right, first things first, we'll basically going to cut this out. I'm going to tack this thing in here quick. Basically, I have my pattern, which is about right. I think I'm going to have to trim up here a little bit, but yeah, this should be okay. And I might have to do a little bit of trimming, but I feel this is okay. I feel this looks and feels right. I know we might have a little bit of gappage, but I can always pull this in and out to fix that. So let's at least get this fender done quick, and then we'll address my grill to hood thing. right, that looks pretty awesome. I think the hood looks okay. I like it. So, it looks like we got this on. It's just pretty tight. It's kind of pulling to the one side a little bit, but I know I still have to do a little more tweaking. The car's kind of sitting like that, so we'll deal with that. My hood's a little on the, little tight up here, but I'm thinking because it's going down, that the bottom of the hood actually needs to go in a bit, needs to get a little more square, and I think that'll free up some room up on top. This side, well, I want to do hood sides, but I don't really know how to do them yet, so when you put that on, golly, that looks good. So essentially we got to do a hood side like this, but it's got to scooch down into that lower section. I guess I don't have to. I guess I could make it do something else. Like I could make a filler panel for there that the hood goes down, but I think it would just look pretty rad that if this thing came and actually went down there, and then you kind of do your thing. But we got plenty of room on top, so I'm pretty happy with that. What we're gonna have to do is figure this rad thing out. So I think I have to, well, I'm gonna pull the top off again. I'm gonna put the rad in there and just see what we have for room. I know I have to like manipulate the beans out of this thing yet, but we'll see how things go. Like it's got a lot of, I guess it was all these kind of fittings, which we're not gonna do. So I'll probably cut this off, cut this off. There's no thingamabobber on it, but I might go in line. We'll see how things go here yet. It's just pretty small, but it's kind of chunky. I don't know. All I can do is hope it's going to work. If it doesn't, then we really have to come up with a different idea. Anyway, I'm going to pull the top off here and we'll sit it. I want to sit it in there with the rad, make sure I have much room, because we did drop this cross member a wee little bit. All right. Well, I don't need that. And I don't need this right now. I do need this. And in my eyes, this can work either way, but I'm thinking it has to go in. Regardless of what I do, I'm gonna have to switch it around. The necks are on the wrong side. It no fit. Put that on after then. So this is what I think is how it wants to sit, except I'm going to have to move everything that's on it, but so I think it's taller the other way. Maybe it did go the other way. I don't know if it's taller one way than the other. And it's definitely not that way, because this rad's got to go there and there. Golly, eh? Definitely shoehorning a lot of stuff here. Well, we clearly didn't go down that much, because we need to remove the corners of the tank there. Oh man. Oh man. There's so much going on. Oh. Well, the bottom of the tank we can shrink. Top of the tank we can add more to it. Jeepers. Actually, hold on. This one is bowed up. Maybe I go this way. Maybe it sits a little flatter this way. Oh, we're so close. We don't have to take off as much. We're definitely making custom tanks, that's for sure. I guess I could almost do a filler on there at that point. Just watch it geyser right out the side when it gets hot. So, what if we had this thing sitting like negative? It gets narrower as it goes to the front. I don't want the hood really to go down much more. I like that vicinity for it. But we're gonna have to lose the top tank. We're gonna make that. So what do? Let's cut it off and we'll figure it out after. That is the plan. I have the technology to weld aluminum, so I will do that. Okay, if I've learned anything doing aluminum, a little bit of wax makes a huge difference. Golly, does it ever. I don't know that I need that. Part of me wants that fitting. I bet you it's going to fit now. Oh, it fits no problem. All right. Oops. Now I remember why I didn't put my mic that way. The magnet sticks there. All right. So you can see now we got lots of room. This is going to fit here. Now you can see we're going to build a way bigger tank, so we'll get a little more volume back into it. That's the plan. If that works, hopefully, shouldn't be a problem. Anyways, we know this works. We sit here or wherever we decide to put this thing. It'll be fine. How do I want to do this now? I guess I'm going to work with the rad first. So what I'm going to do on this cross member, I'm going to build a little mount. Maybe I'll bolt it through here to said mount, but it'll also double up as my rad mount. It's kind of the plan. I don't know. I loosely have a plan here. We shall give it a whirl and see if I win at this. First things first though, because of the way my hood is, like I know my rad's gonna fit, so I'll focus on doing this thing first. The rad fits, but I'll make it fit better. That's the plan. I need to shave a little more off the bottom of these just so I can bring the rad in a bit and get that hood to fit on there more proper. Oh, I think this is pretty good. I think I just need to trim out the bottom here. Oh, it could be just that spring is in the way. I don't know. We'll make the mounts. We'll make the mounts and I'll make this with a little bit of adjustment in it. I like it. It's not too bad. Like I say, we still need a little bit of tweaking. But what I came up with was a simple bracket. So when you've seen it on the bench, it's just this flat stock. And maybe you can see better inside? Not really. But anyways, I can, the goal here is I'll actually be able to unbolt it. There's gonna be 2 bolts that'll hold that upright brace and the rad in. I am hoping that's gonna be strong enough. I might put a piece of angle just to square it off and drill. While we have this, I might weld some nuts on the backside. Maybe I'll just take it off so you can see better, but give me a second here. Alrighty, so here's what we came up with. So technically, through the grill shell, I'm gonna have 2 bolts in here. That'll hold the grill shell. There's 3 bolts that hold this support. It feels, I think it'll actually be pretty strong. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I was thinking maybe I'll add an angle, but I don't know if I need that or not. So anyways, what'll be here, there's a couple holes that I'll be able to just drill my, like, bolt my grill to hold the grill on. The rad's just gonna have a couple, we'll figure something out, but a couple, like 3 bolts or something holding on to this flange. I might make this bigger when I make the top, just because it fits so snug into here. But what I want to try to do, if you look at the bigger picture, is I have, when it's sitting down, I can fill that whole inside space here with the tank, and then I can do my hose. I don't know how that's all going to work yet because I don't know about my belt routing, how I'm going to do any of this. Maybe I'm going to have to do this and stuff. I don't know. Even when this is all together, yeah, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of figuring out yet, but that's a long way off. So I'm pretty happy. That came out pretty good. So what I was hoping there is, like, I pushed the rad as far in as I can. Might make it a little weird just because of this, so I might have to really build my rad funny, but the goal was to give myself as much room as I can, so hopefully I can fit a really big electric fan in there. I don't like them when they're in the front if I can avoid that, because it just doesn't wrecks the look. I'll make some kind of a mesh to hide everything, but yeah, I really hope that'll actually cool it. I don't know if that's actually going to work or not, but it'll have to, or we're going to have to come up with something creative. I guess I could have it like similar size, but just a thicker yet, because I think you can add another 2 inches to that if I had to do that, but I don't know. Hopefully it'll work out. That's all I can say. We don't know yet. So other than the hood size, I'm pretty happy where we're all at. I think what's gonna come up now is, I think next step is actually to blow this thing apart. I wanna basically get that chassis all done. I gotta weld the top, the bottom, add gussets. I got to, yeah, like weld the steering box, like that bracket needs to get on there. There's just a lot of stuff we gotta do down there. Then we can kinda, I don't know, I guess maybe well, clearly I'm gonna put a bit of paint on it if I'm that far. But then we can get this body bolted down permanently, and then we can look at the shop. So yeah, I have a lot of welding ahead of me here, so it won't be too exciting, but that will be the next round. I still have to do a little bit of tweaking because you can see the body, maybe you can't tell, but it's still got a little bit of a schwow to it, so I don't want to use my sway bar to fix that, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to fix it with the spring in the back. But anyways, yeah, I'm thinking that is where we are gonna leave this one. I can't do too much on Carl's car yet because I am waiting for parts to come in, like basically those little residual valves. So yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll be able to take you guys for a little tour, a little ride. That'll probably happen the next round here because I think it's going to be in on the weekend. So anyways, folks, as always, I want to thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.